Happy Halloween. Welcome to Working Dad Trader. Don't let the stock market scare you. Wah. Hello, everybody, and yes, I know I look better with the mask on. It's Happy Halloween to everybody. I hope you're having a great time. In this series, it's the Trading 212 series where every month I review my Trading 212 portfolio. Just for full disclosure, my Trading 212 is not my main account. My Stocks and Shares ISA, which is my main savings account, is with Hargreaves Lansdown. This one was set up about a year ago just so that I could track the process and let people see how I trade stocks and just be a bit more aggressive because obviously we're trading 212, there's no charges for buying and selling stocks. So for full disclosure, that's why I have a separate account. I always keep it as well below £2,000. I won't have any more than £2,000 in my Trading 212 account. And generally every year, of any profits I make, I transfer it into my Stocks and Shares ISA with Hargreaves Lansdown. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way. Remember to help my channel grow, to subscribe and hit that like button. It really does help me. And let's move on and have a look at my portfolio. Okay, so we can currently see that for the month of October, the portfolio currently sits at 3.1%, which is not too bad. It's pretty much where it started or ended, sort of the end of September. And bear in mind, we've had a bit of a pullback through sort of the end of September into October. At one point at the start of October, where there was still a lot of things going on, it got down to a negative figure. It actually went down near the start, and I was on a negative figure of about, I think it might have even touched -1% at one point. But we recovered quite nicely. About a week ago, it was a lot higher. It was about +5%. But again, there's been a few things happened over the last week, 10 days, that have dragged the portfolio back down again. And we just have a quick look at some of the charts, like the S&P 500. Like I said, we can see the pullback on the chart. It had a bit of a pullback, a healthy pullback, something that I said was going to happen fairly soon in previous videos, and not to freak out or not to worry. It's just something that happens, especially at this time of year, especially the sort of the September, October-ish time. It's when the stock market historically has a healthy pullback. Lots of people were talking about crashes and we're going into a bear market, etc. It was proper scaremongering on the media and stuff like that. It got nowhere near that. So if anyone panicked in that time and sold lots of good stocks or at losses, then more for you. You should have just kept calm, and just, like I said, watch my videos, and I would have told you to keep calm, and it's just normal. Already, when we look at the S&P 500 now, it shot back up really quickly, really steep incline, and it's now at all-time highs. That's how crazy the stock market is. It's pulled back, and we're now at all-time highs on the S&P 500, which is just crazy. In my opinion, I think that it's gone up too fast. It's shot up really, really quickly. So maybe expect another pullback of some description. I say that because of the steep incline on the pull back up. And again, when we look at the moving averages, it should stay nearer the 50 moving average line, and it's gone a long way away from the 50 moving average line again. And that was my original thoughts of why, one of the reasons why it was due a pullback, is it got too far away from the 50 moving average. And again, it shot way past the moving average, so I think it needs a bit of correcting there as well. I know the 50 moving average line will go up as the days go on to sort of get closer, but I think I can see the stock market just leveling out or coming back down again a bit, to get it more on sort of level ground. As far as my portfolio, there was some great news with, well, we look at the allocation of my portfolio, and as you can see, Facebook, Alibaba, Games Workshop hold the biggest positions in my portfolio. It accounts for about 43% of my portfolio is tied up just in those three stocks. So when things happen to these three stocks, obviously it has quite a big effect on my portfolio. And some good news at last, which was to do with like the Chinese market, which I'm obviously a big investor into Alibaba. Alibaba in the last month has gone up about 11%. There's been a really good increase in Alibaba. So is it turning the corner? I'm fingers crossed. Let's hope so. There's some really good signs out there. The Chinese market seems to have sort of died down a little bit at the moment, and maybe the government have stopped their crackdowns and changing them and putting in the strong rules. And I think now this is hopefully past. Like I say, with Alibaba, it's going to be a slow process. They're a long, long, long way from where the highs were back in February last year. They're a long way from that. But this 11% increase in a month is a good sign, and I can see that going into next year, getting back to maybe where it should be. So I'm positive on that one. There's also been some great news and press lately. Go and check this article out. It's great how Alibaba now is really beginning to expand and increase its market out, and it's not just now focusing on China. It's getting out into the world. It's been already in place in Eastern Europe, and it's growing their market in Eastern Europe now, and they plan to really, really expand their operation out into Europe and into South America, etc. They really do plan to go up against Amazon and really challenge Amazon around the world. And I think they're more than capable of doing that. Like I say, they're a huge operation with massive customer base just in China alone, and they're already expanding that. They've already got their own ways of transferring goods around the world, and they're saying that they don't really need to increase their shipment costs, etc. So things look really good there. I mean, they're looking at expanding in Spain, Russia, and Brazil as their main hubs for expansion. So yeah, check that out. I mean, that's positive for Alibaba, and that looks good to me. And we move on then. I mean, that's one step forward of Alibaba and then a couple steps back. Obviously, Facebook is my biggest hold on my portfolio of around 20%. Obviously, the last month there's been a lot of the negative media news with the whistleblower scandals coming out, and that's caused Facebook to drop slightly. It's down about 4.5%, 5% for the month. And obviously, in the last few days, they've also announced the rebranding into a new name. So Facebook's had like I say, a rough month. What I can tell you is that over the last month, because of the drop, I've also been increasing my position because to me, it just seems too good not to buy more stock of Facebook. Um, the other one, which was the Games Workshop, which is the third biggest stock in my portfolio, has also had a really bad month. That's down about 7.5% for the month, which is again quite a lot, which has affected my obviously portfolio. I'm still big on Games Workshop. It's not something I'm going to be selling. I mean, I want to hold Games Workshop for a while, for a long time. I know they've got into a bit of a row with some of the loyal customers because Games Workshop is a company that has a really loyal fan base of customers, and I think it's to do with selling their goods on other platforms that they've falling out with some of their customers with, and that's caused the stock to drop. I just think it's a temporary blip. I know there's been a lot of shipping charge costs that Games Workshop have also said about that's going to affecting their business coming into the Christmas period, that they're going to have to increase prices because of the extra shipping costs, etc. So there's been a bit going on, but I'm still positive about Games Workshop. I think they're a great company, and they have again a really loyal, big customer base that will always buy their goods. So I've just seen this as a temporary downturn, and I can see that being positive in the long term. Um, and then we look on to basically just wanted to give you a brief highlight of the best stocks in my portfolio. The very best one in my portfolio, really, of Trading 212 is American Express. It's been a fantastic buy for me. I bought it way back when the pandemic hit, and it's 91% up in my portfolio. It's been fantastic. It just keeps on growing. I'm really pleased with American Express. I mean, American Express is massive again. It's going to be around forever. Um, so I'm really happy with that. It's bounced back fantastically. The worst stock in my portfolio is still Tencent, a Chinese company. That is down 48%, which is massive. And it's been like that for a while. At one point, it was even 50% down. But Tencent is again another big company in China. And when you look at their financials and go through the figures that are coming out from Tencent, they're really, really good and they're really positive. Again, I just don't think they're getting a lot of bad press and a lot of what's going on in China. I think that is going to be really, really slow before Tencent gets back to where it should be. But I'm confident. Like I say, I like to look at the figures, and the company is making money and it's growing its revenues, it's growing its net revenue, it's growing its cash flow, etc. So yeah, I'm really, really positive with Tencent, and again, it's going to be a slow burner, and I think I could be in a negative position for a while on that one. But I think it's going to be 2022 before I see some positive changes. Okay, so that's my Trading 212 portfolio update for October. Um, like like I say, this is where we are at the moment. I've said in other videos that November and December are always historically really good months where the stock market should start to move upwards, and we normally finish on a really good high for the end of the year. So fingers crossed that happens again, and our portfolios can jump up quite a bit. And then again, as long as you're invested in really good companies, then that should be great. If you enjoyed that, like I say, remember, please like the video, please give me comments, and please subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, take care.